What we're doing today to this scooter is we're going to replace the crank bearings and crank seals. So I've already suspended it up here and two straps on the front that are coming off the rafters of the garage. And the plan is to leave as much on the scooter as we possibly can. So we're going to take the manifold off, the oil pump off. We're going to leave all that on there on the scooter. We're going to just try to do as much as we can of separating the case. Didn't put the pipe back on. And as far as the nut back here, I already had pulled this off with the impact wrench. And now what we're going to do is pull the brakes off, get the tire out of the way. There's more than one way to do it. You can pull these two bolts out and pull the caliper off. But I'm trying to do is unbolt as little as possible. So I'm just going to lift the cover here and I'm going to pull until the brakes can come off. There we go. And you have your spacer that comes out from inside there. We've already disconnected everything from the inside. The carburetor's loose right here. The oil pump is pulled up and a little bit loose. We've also disconnected the wiring, and I can show that right here. And there's one other one that we just disconnected on the inside. Those are disconnected. And a lot of people will pull the whole body apart to get this bolt out. For me, I'm in a hurry. I like to just lift it like this, pull the bolt out, and then it pops back. It's not a real big deal. Some people don't like doing that with their body. I don't mind doing it. I know it's going to pop back. We have it on. Now it's completely free from the scooter. As you can see, it's still very dirty and grimy, and I'm not going to work on it that dirty since I'm changing the crank bearings. I'm going to go ahead and take this down to the local car wash and put it in a bay and go ahead and spray it off, soak it, do whatever needs to be done. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put tape over the reeve and the oil pump hole here. Some duct tape. I do enjoy my power tools. Even though they're not great, they work well for what I do. Oops. A little too far on that one. Right here. Okay. Yeah. So I have these two pieces off, and I like to keep the screws where they go, and I like to keep the screws in the screw holes, and also keep account for these alignment studs here. There's one here and there's one up here, and you don't want to lose these because when you put it back on, you need at least two to hold it in the right exact position so that the alignment for the water pump lines up correctly on the inside here. So I'm going to take these two parts and put them over with the rest of my parts that I have stored over here. We're just still working on the teardown process, and we're going to go ahead and remove this here. And let me grab the puller for that. Well, I'm pretty sure that the bearings are bad back there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you something that I've done here. And if you can tell, you can hear it, and if you look real close, you can see crankshaft is moving back and forth on the bearing. It shouldn't move at all. And there's some rough spots in there that you can hear. So it's pretty well determined that this bearing is shot inside there. And I'm starting to think now what burned out the other head wasn't the head that went bad, the aerosol head. What it was is the bearing went bad, and some of its metal shavings went up into the head and destroyed it. But this is definitely bad. I can hear it, and that's what I heard before when I was doing the upgrade of the electrical system, the stator. I could hear that movement, and I think you can see it right there moving. So it definitely needs to be replaced. So I'm going to go ahead and use this here, and I'm going to pull this magneto off. And then after I pull the magneto off, then I'll come back and we'll pull the stator out. And I broke this loose. That's gonna come off just like that. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and remove the sensor. Wipe out the sensor. And I'm going to remove the stator. And by the way, this is an upgraded stator. Your stator will not look like this. This is still stock. Inside of everything there. Down inside here, just use a long extension and get at it. You need to be aware of the O-ring that comes out when you pull this off, and that's the starter. Oh, okay. And we can disconnect the wiring. Probably the best thing to do. So now the starter's been removed, and I can remove the rest of the wiring that goes with the starter and the stator and get this stuff out of the way. Also, what I need to do is remember to keep all of these screws with what they come off, what they go with. So I got these two screws here that go with this. The easiest way, I think, to get this kickstand off is just pull the pin, pull your washer off, and then push it out, and it'll let the whole it'll let this collapse and everything will come apart. Let's see if I can push that a little bit further. And then from the other side, I'm just going to go ahead and grab it with some vice grips and twist and pull and get it out. Putting it all back together, that's the hard part. Get the tension on the spring. But that's how loose it is. So we're going to go ahead and pull this off. That crankshaft shouldn't wiggle at all. Oops, it is still under tight. Okay, I'm going to hold my hand under here, so here we go.